All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Trigun Stampede, episode 11.
Vash has been captured.
Ash has been trapped. He's been bamboozled. He's down in the bottom of some gigantic pit. Nye did the classic, you're speaking at me, but I have a thing underneath your foot. So therefore you fall, and I don't care what you have to say.
Nope.
Because my plan will be enacted here.
Right.
Vash does not have many cards to pull from here. On the other hand, though, Wolfwood has one to play in that he's done his contract. He's brought Vash here.
What he does now
what he does is just his own decisions.
Right.
You know?
And there may be a plucky, spunky reporter that with a a 2-shot little pistol that
has something to say about all this too.
Exactly.
Yeah. But we're dealing with Nye here. What are they gonna do?
What? Yeah. I mean,
what are they gonna do?
Wolfwood's laser, okay. Vash's pistol didn't work. Okay. Yeah, makes sense. But big laser, maybe that'll do something more.
Does a lot. Vash's gate, perhaps.
Possibly.
But the thing is, and this is weird. Vash is a plant, right?
Right.
But as far as what thing he would be even remotely make him special as a plant, it doesn't seem like it would be anything violent,
Sure. Well, unless it's that it would be, and that's why he hasn't tapped into it or something like that.
No, I think it's the opposite of what his point is and stuff. And so, having him have to deal with Nye maybe by losing, by letting Nye have what he wants, I think could be the way, but
maybe.
Yeah. But y'all, without further ado, let's get into this.
Only 2 shots. But you got this.
Yo.
Oh, nice.
Yep. That's so silly.
Yeah. You give him a stern talking to. Oh, not even counting on him helping her out or anything. Just, that arm probably isn't helping. Oh. Okay.
I'm gonna open you up. Shit. That is a cool shot.
Okay.
The gate. Okay. So Vash will open it for us. Okay. Whoa.
Oh.
Shit. He's here. Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say. Yep. Let's go somewhere else. Let's go somewhere else. Oh.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
But you don't even necessarily know what this would mean.
Yeah.
Gotcha. To fully, get them all at the same time.
Yeah. Oh, Nye's gonna find something in there. And that's what's gonna snap him out of it. Yeah.
Ooh.
It's that.
I like that transition.
That simple, yep. Oh. Cool. Nice transition there, yeah. Oh.
I'm loving the visuals.
Yeah. Oh, now we're here. Okay.
Yeah, what was it like when you were in between towns?
Yeah. He could theoretically find and tap into the higher dimension while in the midst of this connection.
And is that her body? Oh.
Shit.
Huh.
Whoa, it's passing.
Yeah, he started to basically
No
let
resisting,
go.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, it's crawled.
Nice. Regained his innocence, basically.
Cool. So now
Okay.
Nai has to meet him in that moment and
Right.
convince him. Yeah.
What? What's going on? Oh.
Oh, that.
Oh, it's just that. It's that crazy. Okay.
そうこれはゼラニウム地球には他にもたくさんの種類があったのよ食べられる そういうのもあるけどねお前本当に食うことばっかだな悪かったなそれしか脳がなくてそうは言ってないだろ言ってる何もう俺よりバッシュの心配しろよえこのままじゃ本当に人間と変わらないぜ
Oh.
Would that be such a bad thing?
Yeah.
愛してるわ
Whoa.
大切な場所だった
Ah.
To you too. What will he see?
You want me to help channel souls? Then we better explore our souls, brother.
Right, right.
Let's go find yours now. Okay, okay.
俺たちと同じインディペンデンツがこの
Oh.
Gotcha.
50年前資料の保管場所は
There it is.
Oh.
確かに人間はあの子にむごいことをした
Wow.
だからってまだわからないのか
Okay, on to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we explored Vash's soul. Let's keep going here. Where's your stuff, Nai? Yeah.
I like that there was an instigating factor, though. Yeah, that might have been what made it so that Nai couldn't, like, look away, you know?
Mm-hmm.
またそれ読んでたの
Ah.
人間は学ばないそんなことないよ人間を信じよう
He's like, oh, you really mean that?
力を持たない弱いお前はプラン
In that moment, he decided, I can't rely on you. Yeah.
Right.
誰よりも人間に愛される必要があった
Ah, because it was a dependency? Sure. That's fair. I did it for you.
全部お前のためだ
Hey, just because he did it for you does not mean it's your fault. Shit.
God, the screams.
これが最後の記憶
Oh, the music.
Yeah, it's so like peaceful. Yeah, and all the people down there, they're like, shit, what a... Yeah.
バッシュ、お前が愛だと思っているのではただの言い逃れだ。
Is it possible it could be both? Mm-hmm. Does one make the other not possible?
Uh-huh.
嫌だ、行かないでくれ。今助けてやる。
Not the coat. Oh shit. Okay.
ハッピーバースデー。バッシュ。サードコネクト成功。あれが高次元への入り口か。
Whoa.
Cool. The way you can see the stars in the petals.
火の矢を落として町を消し、洪水によって大地を浄化させる。アルメギドの戦いの日だ。
Whoa.
これから高次元に入り、直接彼女たちのコアに触れる。自分たちを覇者だという気がく愚かな人類には滅びてもらう。我らインディペンデンスがこの世界に
Oh
Wow.
shit.
新たなる秩序をもたらす。
The way the flowers bloom, almost like eyes. Making a misshapen face. Oh, and that's the end of the episode. All right, cool.
All right, we have
Okay.
our full fantastical
Yep.
and open the portal, you know, do the
go-
ritual.
the higher plane,
the higher
ascend,
plane,
become
yep, ascend to
God or
God and-
whatever, yeah,
and tap into the power that the plants were created from. Cool.
Yep.
Wow.
Awesome. I love that.
Spectacle and
Yes.
intimacy. That's this episode.
Right, exactly. And I love that we got both, and both worked in various different ways.
Yeah.
The synchronization thing did actually happen, right?
Yeah.
Nai was able to go to the other plane,
Yeah, we didn't have it cut off randomly due to someone popping in with a gun and shooting the glass.
Yeah, or
something
like,
that.
calling out to Vash and being like, no, remember, and then, I don't know, something
no.
like that. No. But then also, we got not just the more intimate perspective with Vash, but we also got it with Nai.
Yeah.
In that, no, it wasn't something of Nai just being born bad or something like that.
No.
He was definitely different from Vash, right?
Right.
But even with the thing of, like, I loved the example of the flower of, like, so it's ornamental. And, like, Rem's like,
She's frustrated.
she's frustrated because his question is basically dismissive.
Right.
But the thing is that she's like, well, that is correct.
That is
It's
right.
ornamental, and there's this, like, while Nai is still like, he doesn't have the same care for it as, Vash does. There is that kind of bit of like acknowledgement or acceptance of like, okay, it's ornamental,
But he's comparing it to the one in the plant room. The idea that the plants themselves, the non-independent plants, he compared the geranium effectively to an actual, like, one of his plants, basically.
oh,
The idea that, and this is the thing that I really like about this here, is that we get this hint from Nai, basically, that the one flaw in his whole philosophical revolution perspective here is that he doesn't actually care about the plants. Like, it's not actually like his thing here, is that he really hates the humans. In the same way that Vash is not some perfect, idealized, saint who wants to,
Yeah.
end violence. In a lot of ways, he is the scared coward who
Right.
does not want to watch people die.
Yeah.
So they both have that ultimate ideal that they strive for, but they don't actually live it. They don't actually fully have
Right.
it in
Hence-
them to their core, and thus it makes Nai the perfect flawed villain to try and judge humanity for the hypocrisy that he also has by being this way.
It also kind of circumvents the problem with the philosophical conflict here, in that basically we effectively had the positing of the humans of the plants do not have souls. They do not have free will.
Yeah,
right?
they are really just plants
And-
from every perspective, not just reality, but also the perspective that they have from, like, they can't detect the presence of what Vash detected. Yeah.
And when I heard that, I'm thinking, okay, there's the possibility that that's true, given that humans were their creators.
Right.
But also, given the stuff that we've seen of, like, the plants, like, crying out in pain and things like that, there is the possibility that this is no, you don't have a way to understand them.
Sure.
And so the things that, Vash and Nye hear, you don't hear. And so then it totally makes sense that you would have this perspective. But then with Nye basically being like no, I'm going to give all of them a soul, he's basically accepting that, which kind of makes the whole question of plant suffering, like, non-existent, which...
Well, it's because it's more complicated than that. It's the idea that, like, if you have a pig getting killed at a slaughterhouse, its screams don't make it have a soul any more than it not screaming, basically, right? It's getting killed.
Sure.
The plants were dying because they were crashed onto this planet here where they don't have the capacity to be put into whatever the consistent stasis equilibrium was that was on the ship that Vash did not hear while he was awake the whole time, because the plants weren't, screaming and stuff, making noise from there. They were being drained of their resources to the point that they were all dying. So the soulless plant but living thing, this is I think a really good point here, is that independents are basically humans in that they have souls. But plants are alive. They're still a living creature. So Nye's whole point of, I want to save this living creature group that I am connected with, and I can ascend them basically through my ascension. It still makes sense from the philosophical standpoint. It's just that him claiming it to be some, I'm doing the moral high ground thing, and the humans are doing the evil, immoral thing, is way too overly simple just to try and make him, believe that he's doing the right thing.
And he doesn't even posit to Vash, even as like a posturing thing, that I'm doing this for the other plants.
Right.
I'm doing it for you.
Yeah.
Because and I love that, because
yeah,
it's
I do too.
No, I realized that because I was given a gift, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you think about Nye's whole situation here, right? The way that he's set up, the way that or at least my perspective on him, that I believe is intentionally given from the show, is you have the person with power that has no sympathy for the people without power. I am greater, you are lesser, right? And so as a result of that, whatever I do to you doesn't matter. Except we actually find out that this whole thing started as a result of, one, him seeing the suffering that was inflicted on, the plants
that they stumbled into.
That did actually, like, have full sapience and all that stuff, right? The one that was actually just like them, basically.
And was technically alive
and
still
was,
in that moment.
kept alive. Yeah, like, that's a whole, like, that is an understandable thing that would then cause Nye to go into this fucked up space, right?
Yeah.
Especially once he believes that he can't rely on his brother because his brother is dependent on them, and so not actually able to decide for himself. And so then it's just a full internal mental cycle, of just, where do the dark thoughts lead? Who's to say, right?
Yeah.
And so then it's hey, I understand that I was given a gift that you were not.
Right.
I don't hold that above you. I'm going to try and help you. I'm going to get you to the point where you can make a choice.
By killing everybody.
By killing everybody, right. Yeah. It makes the brother dynamic very compelling.
It shows that Nye ultimately was also a scared boy, basically lashing out because he didn't understand how his parents could do something like this.
Yep.
And I don't think there's an easy answer. I think the truth of the matter is the humans fucked up here in some myriad of ways. Not just in the idea that, like, they were abusing the plants, but just the idea that, like, the independents themselves are a point of something more, though.
Yeah.
The idea that the humans were starting to clue in to the higher nature of the plants, maybe in general. We don't know if Vash and Nye were created specifically from a plant that had no soul and they fused them with the human soul or something. We don't know the exact nature of how they were created. And in some ways it's not important. But the big thing I think that's important is that Nye and Vash are unique. They are not, they're twins, brothers, or what have you, but they are not actually exactly the same here.
Right.
So the idea of that individuality, that ego, they made basically decisions in how to cope and struggle and survive this life here. And Nye ended up, rather than relying on Rem, which is what Vash did, he realized, I can't rely on either of them.
Right.
So that natural isolation bred this hatred and fear and frustration. And then, the natural conclusion of, stewing in those emotions and in that pain for so long, we don't know how long they were on the voyage.
Yep, that's true.
I mean, you can logically determine a couple things based on Rem's age and such, because she's regular human. But that's a long time, given that they can effectively be, immortal, but also they put the humans in cryosleep. So it would have been a long enough time that it would have dramatically affected, the human's development in some way.
Also, I love the detail of Nye being like, no, Rem saying that she wasn't going to let that happen again. Like, this was not new information. It's not like she, oh my God, that's a thing that happened, or something. No, she was fully aware, right?
Right.
All the times that she raised this and stuff. And her saying, I'm never going to let that happen again. The fact that Nye basically clocked that as like, that's some attempt at basically atonement or whatever, right? Like that's you trying to make yourself feel better. And the thing is that he's right.
Yeah, of
he's
course.
absolutely right.
Doesn't matter, yeah.
But that doesn't make it invalid. And that feels like such a mistake of adolescence to know that you're right about something, right? And as a result, you think A means B. But the thing is that A isn't the only thing like involved here, right?
There's other variables in the equation.
Yeah, one does not exclude the other. So then he goes into this like that makes the spiral make even more sense.
Yeah. I love the idea as well of the plant having no value because it's just ornamental. So the point that also gets kind of inferred with the I'm doing this all for you, Vash, is that, the plants, no, it's just a means for us to finally actually connect.
Right. The humans, just a means for us to finally be able to connect.
Yep. The humans, the plants, it all, it's just a means for the fact that he could feel the divide and probably was even jealous of Rem.
Oh, sure.
And the idea that simple human emotion was what guided this whole thing is so fun because I genuinely find the characters who were how do I say this? You know how in Monster they bring up the concept of people being born evil or they're made evil or what have you. I think Nye is one of those characters where they really tried to give you the vibe early on.
That he was just born bad.
He was just born bad.
Yep.
Right? But I think that this show, in so short a time, so convinced me that there was absolutely nothing wrong with him from the get-go. Absolutely nothing. This is all a completely made, kind of thing here. All entirely environmental. Nothing in his nature that brought about this thing here. And that's just impressive.
Because that was, his introduction basically is cackling as, humanity burns, right?
Yeah.
Like that's pretty extreme there.
But it's just pretty cool that we got to this point in 11 episodes. And I buy his characterization so much that I'm like, can we send some of that like complex characterization over to Vash real quick? I would actually like to get to know a little bit more as to why were all these memories and all these specific things, the things that were grounding him and holding him tight to not just himself, who he is, and keeping this thing from overwriting who he was, but they were like not just key memories of him with Nai or Rem. They would be both. They would be sometimes like lonely memories and quiet ones. I love that Nai is there to be the voice to give kind of resonance to the image that he portrays within those moments and those memories. But I would love to have internal thoughts and or just a little bit from Vash of like, this is what I'm feeling in the moment.
Vash is being very reactive here, which is understandable.
Yeah, he's under control, basically.
Well, right.
Yeah.
Well, but also like when you think about like that's kind of been the story of Vash's life ever since what happened, right? Which makes absolute sense, right? With the seeing the plant that was being kept alive and all of these things, and Nai's doing all these terrible things. Like Nai, you have enough good points with the things that you're saying that if only you weren't doing all these unspeakable things, you guys could actually get along and have some great connection here.
But that's the part that.
But you're doing all of these crazy things.
But I think keep going.
Well, and I think that's something where, as a result of that, Vash is constantly kind of on the back foot. And so Nai saying the whole thing of like, no, you're just a coward who doesn't want to have people die, right? Like, yes, that's absolutely true. It's almost like there was a very intense thing that happened that made him have an extremely strong negative reaction to people dying. Oh my God. How could that have happened, right?
What a twist.
Whereas you, Nai, you took this is ornamental. Oh, okay. Humans are also ornamental by that logic. So if you ornaments are nice, but if you get rid of them, that's not a big deal, right?
I mean, isn't your brother then ornamental?
But he doesn't want him to be.
See, that's the thing. That's the thing that's so fun is he basically took his whole logic, spun it around in a circle, ignored that he came back to full circle there, and was like, "I've gone somewhere." It's kind of
down.
funny.
That's a downward spiral that you have there.
Exactly. Right. But the idea that he's going to then use his brother like the humans use the plants. He's going to carve out the very essence of what made him who he was while his experiences were on this planet. He's then going to take whatever's left and just kind of hang around with it, basically.
Yeah, and that's
I love how sad this is, because if he wins, he'll have nothing.
Right. That's why I kind of want Nai to win to an extent here, and then maybe that's the setting then for season 2. In that, like, because like the whole thing of the giant plant thing taking on like a humanoid form as it rises up into the sky. One, that's just a very striking image, but the idea of no, like in order for you to actually see your ideology fall apart, right? Having him be subverted through some element of power or capability, that doesn't actually truly defeat him in a sense, right? Then he just dies still thinking that he's right, as opposed to the the Tony Stark thing of the no, you haven't thought this through, right? Like let's say you win, that it's all on you, right? Like the thing that you want, you're kind of fundamentally never going to get, right? Maybe you get something different that is close enough for you, right? You're thinking, if I have this power, I can remake everything. Even if I completely hollow out my brother, I'll be able to kind of rebuild him with the memory that I have of him. And then, oh, hey, there we go. That'll be enough.
Yeah, that could be enough. For,
maybe.
I don't know, 10 years.
Yeah.
50.
Then he truly would be an ornament, right? Like,
well, that's the thing. To this guy here, and this is maybe the part where you could argue that he wasn't born bad, but he was born fucked up, is that he doesn't have anyone to relate to with regards to having these powers.
Right.
So then he doesn't have the capacity to empathize. And that's why Vash's whole point of empathy is kind of the potential saving grace for Nai, is that he's going to empathize with you, Nai. He's going to be able to connect with your soul. he's going to be able to connect with the thing that makes you love and care and feel. And that's probably what's going to save you here, is that I mean, it's going to have to be some power of love bullshit at this point.
Oh, sure,
but like,
yeah.
even then, I'd still take that because effectively what he's done, I believe, in the world building sense, is he's taken Vash's things that give him identity and he's stripped them away.
Right.
You know, memory, you know, a whole bunch of other things. But none of that has anything to do with the actual, like, soul part. If anything, he's just a conduit for the other souls to pass through. And in a lot of cool ways, that's what empathy is reaching out and finding a way to touch another person's soul with yours, feeling their pain, feeling their emotions, feeling their position as your own, taking it in. So the idea that Vash is going to be inert here might be completely undone in the next episode through no, I actually spoke with all of them. In this moment, I connected with every single plant, and I heard what they want. I heard who they are. I felt them. I became all of them. And we don't want this. And that would just be the point where they just all independently reject him.
Yeah, that would fundamentally undermine Nai's whole scheme, because if
it gives them all independence, then they can just choose not to.
Well, no, not even that. Not even that. Given that his scheme right now is that they do not have wills, they do not have a soul, and I'm going to give that to them. Hey, that's a noble thing.
That is actually a very noble thing.
That is a very noble thing.
That's a very noble thing, yeah.
But if it turns out that they actually already do, and they say, no, we don't want that, well, one, that does make it so then you do have the problem of, okay, humans, you are actually enslaving a sapient race, even if you can't communicate them, and that whole thing, which we've talked about before. But then the whole thing of, I'm going to give you free will. No, that's just making them have a will compatible with yours. Right? That's not connection. That's subservience. That's dominance, right?
Yeah, it is dominance,
And if that's what you want, fine, but then you just have to acknowledge that, right? That's
revolt,
actually what you're after. Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually a fun little, I don't know if this was a comic or something like that, but it was one of those if animals could talk kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
And it was playing at the joke that animals' intelligence levels vary rather differently.
Oh, yeah.
So the idea that some animals, if they could speak, would be like Shakespearean level intelligence with like incredible grasp of language. And others are like, me want orange, you give orange, me want banana, now have banana, please give, now want have, you know?
Right.
It's like...
Dogs are either the stupidest or the wisest.
Right. I'm trying to remember what the animal was, but I think it might have been like cats or something. But cats were like actually like the most evil. Just
that's not a hot take. Yeah. Everybody knows this. If
cats are amazing.
If cats could kill us, they would. They have domesticated us because we are useful to them.
Right. Exactly.
That's about it.
Yes, you are a beautiful ornament that gives me food. Yes. No, but it's just that kind of thing there where I could see this being something that they all, get this point of will here, and then it's the Nye, it's so beautiful out here. Where are all the people?
Oh, yeah.
I want to talk to the people. I want to see them.
Yeah, what if Nye, after he gets like supreme executive power, right?
Touches the God particle. Or
yeah, exactly. He makes the world as he wants, and that happens.
Yeah.
And then eventually he's like, and then he like undoes it. Now maybe that'd be cheap because I don't know how he'd have the power to actually undo everything and like bring people back to life.
No,
or
but
whatever.
It'd be fun to see him like bring Vash into that space, and then they make some kind of decision together. That could be kind of cool.
There's a part of me that wants someone that is not Vash to go through the portal and talk to Nye, like Wolfwood or Meryl. Like not that he'd listen to them because he has no connection to them, right?
No.
But like
giving them some agency in this endpoint here. I feel like you can do that without having them go into the dimension or what have you. But
I feel like Wolfwood, if anybody were to have something to say to Nye that is not Vash, it might be Wolfwood because he doesn't have the same kind of dogged adherence to the. Oh, sure, that too, but just he doesn't have the Vash I will never kill anyone kind of thing that makes it so that Nye doesn't feel like he can maybe actually communicate with Vash.
Nobody has that but Vash.
No, right, but I don't know. I feel like Meryl kind of has that.
No, she doesn't.
Yeah.
No. No, Meryl, if anything, I've been kind of like disappointed a little bit. She kind of just asks questions
and just says, "Oh no, the bad guys are doing bad things. How dare you? That would never happen." And it's like, wait, no, are you listening?
But she can't think for herself to like make any kind of decisions. And
Well,
stuff,
and
like,
sometimes the things that the bad guys are saying are not the problem. It's all the other stuff that they do. But then she still like responds to the thing that they're saying that might have a point with like, "That's awful." It's like, no, that's not the thing that's awful. It's all the other stuff they're doing that's awful.
or just the thing of like he's sitting there at the controls doing all this stuff here, and he's like, if you sever the connection, it'll be fatal. It's like, so what are you doing that's
so important, right? Yeah, I may have only 2 bullets, but I can kneecap you with the first one and then be like, okay, now you know where this next bullet's going if I'm pulling the trigger. So, yeah.
But all right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel. So yeah, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.